Today I'm going to propose an argument or an idea that a lot of us for the longest time have understood Islam and specifically the Quran in a fundamentally wrong way, to put it simply. Now, in my personal opinion, a majority of the Muslims nowadays have taken the Medina side of the Quran and they have left aside the Mecca side of the Quran. Now, I'm aware that sounds extremely vague and I will be elaborating, but first I need to give an introduction on something which a lot of you already know. And that is the fact that the Quran has verses and chapters which are divided into two categories. You have the Meccan verses and you have the Madani verses or the Medinan verses. Now, the Meccan verses and chapters simply refer to the fact that these were revealed to the Prophet ﷺ before he did the Hijrah, while the Medinan verses and chapters were revealed to the Prophet after he did the Hijrah. So it's simply a point of reference in time in terms of when these verses were revealed. Except the fact that it's actually a lot more than just some reference in time. You see, the Meccan surahs emphasize on something and the Medinan surahs emphasize on something else. Now, when it comes to the big picture of purpose and how should I view this world, how should I view myself in this world, the past, the present, the future, what's going to happen in the day of judgment, what happened in the events of the first human of mankind. Before I actually do anything in this world to do with chasing my dreams and chasing my ambitions, what is the kind of foundation which I should have engraved in my brain to approach this world that we live in? Simply put, it's these existential, big picture questions which we are trying to get answered. And these are the ones which are answered in the Meccan side of the Quran. So now I established this foundation of how should I perceive life? What is my purpose? I know that now. So now I can move on, I take this foundation with me, and I can start creating this building using the laws and regulations which Allah has revealed to us through the Prophet ﷺ, which tackle specific matters, like how to correctly marry, how to correctly divorce, what I should do in battle, what I should eat, what I shouldn't eat, how I should eat. All of these things which are more elaborated on in the Medina side of the Quran. Now I want you to picture with me the Meccan period. The Prophet has not done the Hijrah yet, and this is a time where Islam is still on the come up, but they are extremely oppressed and they are at the bottom of society essentially. These Muslims in Quraysh are scared to actually reveal their religious side and reveal their beliefs because they are constantly being tortured and they are being harassed, whether it's physically or verbally. So now you imagine someone who at this time leaves everything and he becomes a Muslim and follows the Prophet, and the first thing the Prophet tells him is, okay, so you can't eat this, you can't eat that, you have to marry this way, you need to give up this and that. Like, do I even need to explain why that's a completely wrong way to approach the deen? No, instead, Allah revealed verses which have taken the approach of helping these new Muslims in this horrible environment actually understand the fundamental belief of Islam, the fundamental belief of monotheism, who Allah is. That don't worry, you guys are being extremely tortured and harassed, but there is a Jannah which is going to be your home in the afterlife. That these people who are oppressing you, they will experience so and so in the day of judgment. Oh, are you feeling harassed and extremely sad? Let me share with you some of the stories of the prophets so I can show you that they have went through much worse and they are going through many things which you guys can learn from. And now that we have a good number of Muslims who have this correct fundamental belief of Islam and they do the Hijrah, they establish a state, the first Islamic state, which is Medina, and now we have more Medinan verses which are being revealed and they are teaching these people how to live their life in every single aspect. Now I want to go back to the original argument in this video, which I like to phrase as, we have taken a more Medinan approach to life and less of a Medinan and Meccan approach to life, which is how it should be. Think of an example like a sister. a sister who is not wearing the hijab and is dressing immodestly. And she asks you, show me where in the Quran does it show me or tell me that I should wear the hijab and cover so and so. And set aside the fact that we already have the evidence for that, even if you tell her, she will either put on the hijab and put it on forcefully, not really understanding the wisdom and really the idea of modesty behind it. She'll see it as a burden, or she won't put it on and she's going to be frustrated with Islam. And now, so it doesn't seem like I'm taking a shot at the girls, I have to give an example for the guys. But seriously speaking, I know many people back in the day in school who, mashallah, they are always praying Jama'ah in the break. They don't delay it to when they reach home. They even leave PE classes to pray, for example, Dhuhr for the Asr Adhan. And, you know, just many great things like that, making dua after the prayer. But those same people in school will commit so many sins in public, whether it's carelessly swearing at people's mothers as a joke, hanging out with the girls in the school, and doing too many things with them beyond comfort. And if some of these examples I've mentioned relate to any of you guys, I hope no one takes offense to that. I've mentioned in a video previously that we all come from different backgrounds, different parents, even different religions, and then we may have converted. So I'm not looking down at anyone or judging them, but it's the idea I'm trying to extract from these examples, which is that these people have cared so much about a specific side of the Islam, while in a way forgetting what it means to fundamentally be a Muslim, which is something that you don't only carry with you to a mosque, but you carry with you in every aspect of your life. Let's just take this small piece of the fundamental belief as a Muslim, that Allah is As-Sami' Al-Alim, the all-hearing, the all-seeing. Just imagine if he applies this one piece to his life, and he knows much, much less than you when it comes to halal and haram. The difference is now he has the perfect foundation to advance to learning these things about halal and haram. Because as soon as he knows that this thing is haram, and he puts in his mind that Allah is always watching me, he won't do it. He will avoid it, or at least he'll do it a lot less often. So in this video, I just intend to share the fundamental idea which you should carry around in your life. Not necessarily give you the details of it, but it's just to understand that behind all of these do's and don'ts in Islam, there is a wisdom. And these do's and don'ts, they all go back to a creator, which is why we do everything that we do, or why we should do everything that we do. And I guarantee you that a lot of these people who may be praying on time and they're even praying Jama'ah and they go to Umrah and they're excited for it and all of that, they may really lack a huge part of khushu' in the ibadah which they do. Now, just for some closure in this video, it may seem like I am unemphasizing the importance of halal and haram. And no, it's definitely extremely important, and you can't be a Muslim and be like, yeah, I have the belief, but I don't care about this thing which is haram. That's obviously completely wrong, and we can't take one side of the Quran and leave the other. So they are both extremely important. It is just a reminder to you guys to approach these specific matters in the deen while also having the foundation belief of monotheism. Some people watching the video may say there is not necessarily a need to know the wisdom behind everything that's halal and haram, because a beauty of it is that when Allah says do this, that you do it, and if he says don't do this, that you don't do it. And I completely agree, and I would still encourage that you learn the wisdom behind these things. But even if you didn't know why exactly Allah is telling you to do so, that through the fundamental belief you know who Allah is. Because how can you love someone who you don't know? You want to feel affected by Islam and you want to cry when listening to the Quran, but you don't even know who exactly is saying these words. You may know he's Allah, he's you know, the creator of the heavens, of the earth, but you don't know everything that he's done for you. Or you may see a specific side of him which is to do with punishment and ordering you to do things. But you haven't exactly processed the fact that he has given you everything which you have. That when he loves you, he tells Jibreel to love you, and every angel to love you, and then the people on earth to love you. So it's these things which really help you become a better Muslim and carry a fundamental belief throughout your entire life while doing it without feeling restrained. And yeah, that's it for the video. These were my thoughts for today. I hope you guys enjoyed and benefited. I'll see you in the next one, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.